Modern ERP system is not something is isolated. IT infrastructure is a combination of mutually interconnected systems. It may include such elements as intranet, web portal, e-commerce, EDI, merchandise restocking system, purchase order with approval cycle, MRP and accounting, to name few examples. Let's talk about GP integration technologies and Alba Spectrum specialization in this field. There are multiple options to program integrations, including Dexterity, Visual Studio Tools, SQL Stored Procedures, etc. However, I'd like to give you practical recommendations. In our consulting practice, after careful tools selection, we ended up with Integration Manager and eConnect. Integration Manager is both end-user and programmer-friendly instrument, while eConnect is software development kit with code samples in C++, C#, and Visual Basic. In Alba Spectrum, we are specialized in so-called advanced technology consulting. Often, potential customers call us when they are disappointed with their original consulting partner, especially in such projects as Dexterity programming, data repair, and integration with external databases. Personally, my favorite tool is Integration Manager, and I have experience scheduling it in quasi real-time, in e-commerce shopping cart import scenarios, EDI, electronic document interchange, and others. Integration Manager. I'll be showing you version 2013. Let's open a sample integration. Let's do sales order processing. As you can see, there are sources, there are query relations, destination and destination mapping. Let's take a look at one of the sources. This is SOP header file. As you see, this is text file, and these are columns. Now let's take a look at relations. You see that SOP header has a relation with SOP items and commissions and distributions, GL distributions. Goes to sales transactions, and now let's take a look at transaction mapping. On the top there is sales header, sales transaction. And there are items, line items in SOP invoice. Now let's assume that you have to link to something more complex and have a SQL query, for example, external database. Let's define source, which would be advanced ODBC. As you see, you can have a select statement. Select statement can be union, it can be more complex. This is just example. And these are columns of SOP history header file. It is probably a good idea to share our experience in moving e-commerce shopping carts to Dynamic GP via Integration Manager. Let's imagine that you have e-commerce portal programmed in-house in C#, Microsoft Visual Studio. When customer places the order with prepayment, it is natural to transform it into sales order processing invoice with customer deposit in Great Plains. You can call Integration Manager with parameters directly from your C# code, so-called real-time mode, or schedule integration to fire every 5 minutes. In this case, this would be a so-called quasi real-time mode. eConnect software development kit. As you see the index and contents and search and favorites, I'd like to show you code sample for creating a sales order. You can find this sample here. Let's open in Visual Studio. Here it is. Sample is in C#.
You can see here, let's scroll down a little bit. eConnect libraries, Microsoft Dynamics GP eConnect, eConnect serialization. This sample could be used in e-commerce scenario when you send sales order from e-commerce shopping cart to Dynamics GP SOP module. This is sales header.
I'd like also to share our cases in building cross-platform integrations with such systems as Linux, PHP, and MySQL-based e-commerce, moving transactions to Dynamics GP. We had actually two implementation scenarios. First one was export business-to-business shopping cart to text file and moving it from Linux to Windows Server. Integration Manager was firing every 2 minutes, picking up exported shopping carts and transforming them to sales order processing invoices. Second scenario was web service programmed in Microsoft Visual Studio with eConnect libraries and calling XML web service with parameters directly from Linux.